Friday, daily grind on Friday, making up songs, and they're better than when I sing other songs. Welcome to the daily grind, everybody. I am in a good mood today. It could have been different. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker, and it's Friday, and I got Rusty, brother. I've been wanting to talk hoops, just you and me, for a hot minute. I'm glad you're here. How are you, sir?
I am good, man. It is a great Friday morning. I had a hard time convincing my coffee to come out this morning here in the city because it was afraid it would get mugged. But we're having a great Friday. It's a Grizz dub Friday, and that's all that freaking matters.
Man, I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Oh, yeah, he's going to give me one. Thank you for that pun. I needed it. Shout out everybody watching as well. I see Art. I see King Meeks. Good morning. Give it to me, King Meeks, whenever you get a second. Thank everybody. If you're watching over in Twitter, come hang out with us on YouTube. Come talk in the comments. That's where everybody's chilling. That's where we're all having a good time, having positive vibes this morning, because we're just going to jump right into it. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Houston Rockets. Finally, this was dangerously close to a series sweep, which I would have hated. But the Grizzlies won 120-119 on the evening that Jaren Jackson Jr. was announced to a second all-star team. There you go. Represent. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. It was, I don't know. It was
ugly.
It was ugly. It was an ugly game that felt like a 9 rounds in a boxing ring. It just felt like a punch, not even like a knockout punch. It was like felt like featherweights just like hitting the hell out of each other. And it was a lot. And refs almost just gave it away to him at the end. I mean,
I've never seen something like that in my entire fandom, to where you get a phantom timeout call. Like, TJ was clearly coaching up, nothing about a timeout. Jalen had a perfect pass to the rim and just ran down a layup, and they called a timeout. Like, at least we got possession back, but that should have been the game winner right there.
Yep. It's like there was no need for it to go down to the last second like it did, because the Grizzlies should have been up on that dunk. But let's not talk about that final dunk, because when I thought I was genuinely worried. We were down 7, I think, with 3 minutes left, and I was like, it happened again. It happened again. Yeah. But it didn't. These boys were able to close it out, and I mean, Jaren wanted this one. It was clear Jaren wanted to win this one, and he turned into the all-star leader there at the end, the whole game. I mean, you just want to start with Jaren? Just talk about it. Let's start.
Because the elephant in the room is this is Jaren Jackson Jr.'s team right now. Like, Ja's going through his injury stuff. He's got things going on. There's a weird energy on the bench over there from Ja. But Jaren continues night in and night out. Even the other night we got punked by the Knicks. Like, he was still getting buckets on Cat, finished with 21. Last night, he carried this team, hitting those clutch free throws to win the game, but was in his bag last night all over Steve-O, and it was a good matchup for him without Şengün, because Şengün is more athletic big, and so Jaren could kind of have his way last night, finished with 21 on 7 of 15 from the field. I mean, you can't get much more efficient than that. Would have loved some of his threes to fall last night, but he got it done on both ends of the court. Only had 1 turnover last night. He played really well.
Yep. Well, in his defense, nobody's threes were falling last night for us except Luke's. I mean, like and you know what? Thank God that we didn't insist on sticking with shooting threes, because we were, what were we? We were what?
9 through 28.
And we were 52% from the field.
Yeah.
Which we were texting about it. The broadcast, Reggie Miller, they were all over the place, but they I think we know. I should have kept my tally of how many names they mispronounced.
Oh, I know. Like, they sound like me out there. Yeah, that Zach Eddy, Isalu is the coach. Like, so many mess ups last night. But what was nice was we were actually able to get some penetration on Houston. Where we could actually get in the lane and get what we wanted. It felt like the other 3 matchups, like they had just a lid on the paint. And last night, we were finally able to get what we wanted. Dez had that midi going a little bit last night. Art, I do miss watching Steven Adams play basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies. 100%. He had an offensive explosion in the first half for Steve-O. Finished with 11 and 10 last night. I miss Steven Adams. Like, people were like, there was some talk about Dylan Brooks in the group chat and stuff last night. I don't miss that clown. I miss Steve-O, though.
Yeah, man. I was thinking the same thing. Every time he was able to get that little like volleyball rebound tap out, and they would get another. I mean, every
I was
time.
having flashbacks. Like, where's Ja? Ja, where you at? Go get it.
I mean, and we're ED will get there, but like that Steve-O, that was a clinic from the Steve-O of old that we used to really, really root for here. I was very pleased to see that we kind of ran with a playoff rotation in this game.
Yes, we did.
Which I mean, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 guys play over 30 minutes, and I think we got 10 guys. There's not one guy averaging more than 30 minutes a game, I believe, on the season right now. And the fact that we played, and Santi almost played 30. You know, we almost had 6 guys play 30.
What I have a question. What's that number beside Desmond above minutes? What's that? I don't recognize that number.
I don't know if we've seen that number all
I don't think
season.
we've ever seen that number beside a Memphis Grizzly, at least in a very long time.
I'm glad you brought it up because I saw that and I was like, that's got to be, is that right? David Blaine. Desmond Bain played 40 minutes last night. That's how, you know, if you play your best players and the most,
it's all I've been asking.
Yep. And you know what? He's getting this. I believe it was Art that I want to give, where was it? Art. I can't find. Oh, right here. Luke as a combo guard is real. The guard play from Luke has been wonderful. He, and in particular, I just think, and man, let me tell you, the closing group after that timeout kind of got screwed, the phantom timeout. There was Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark, Santi Aldama, and Jalen Wells. And they huddled up and it was like rubber meets the roll. I think Jalen even initiated the huddle. And I was like, oh my God, these boys are playing like this is playoff. And Jalen Wells, man, I don't.
He cut Jalen Green's water off the second half. Like Green had a good first half, but he put the clamps on him in the second half. And it's just like, you know, Art, I don't hate the idea of Herb Jones on this basketball team, especially with Vince Williams apparently being made of glass right now. But Jalen Wells is a plus defender, man. He is just continuing to play his best basketball against guards his size. Now, he struggled with bigger guys he's had to defend, but he has played really well recently on guards his size. And Jalen Green is a tough one to slow down, and he did that last night. I was pulling this up. Jalen Wells taking on the tough assignments, the most time spent tightly guarding, like face guarding or tightly guarding, a 20-plus points per game ball handler this season. So the most defensive minutes guarding somebody that averages more than 20 points a game. Dyson Daniels, Bilal Coulibaly. Thank you, Coulibaly from the Wizards. Jaden McDaniels and Jalen Wells with 137 minutes guarding a 20-plus point ball handler. I mean, that's incredible. A rookie. None of these other guys. He's on a list with Jaden McDaniels, Dyson Daniels, Mikal Bridges, and then him and Coulibaly are the 2 rookies on there. Like big minutes.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of those dudes are all defense guys. Like that's awesome. Oh man, and you mentioned the like every screen. I think it was on the $2 Sports Show y'all yesterday with Brev, that was an awesome show, by the way. You guys mentioned that Jalen runs through every screen face first, and he was doing so last night. I mean, he ran through Steve-O's fist at one point, and it was like, oh my God, this kid is tough. And you know, they were able to say Jalen Wells correctly on the broadcast last night, and it made me very happy because everybody. You know, we don't get very many TNT games, and that was one where it was like, all right, let's everybody else see this, you know? When a permanent starter, like this guy has earned a spot in the rotation, even when Vince comes back. And then I kind of derailed it, but going all the way back to Luke, like if Luke keeps shooting at this rate, he was 3 for 6 from 3 last night. This is a guy that we can use in the playoffs. Yes.
I'm just worried that it's just going to be inconsistent because that's what we've seen so far this year.
That's what we've seen so far this year, and that's what I mean, he's not really been fully healthy when we've gotten to the playoffs. It's been sporadic in the playoffs. But if this guy's if we're able to get this combo guard Luke operating at this level where we only have to rely on Scottie Pippen 10 minutes a game, like that's going to be really good and help us and win. Help us. Obviously, if you play Luke Kennard more than Scottie Pippen Jr., you're probably going to win these games. But
that's winning basketball strategy. And I like Pip, don't get me wrong, but like having like our ball handler rotation is going to shorten. And if it's just Ja, Luke, and Dez on occasion, then I'm happy with that for sure. Mm-hmm. And I would love that. Like, again, like I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, we got to re-sign Luke, can't let him walk. Like if the right trade comes along for a Cam Johnson or DeAndre Hunter or somebody else, like I would probably move Luke. But if that right trade doesn't come along, I would be interested in seeing what it would take to re-sign him in the offseason.
Yes. And I want to, it's worth noting too. I thought this was important. They had Amen Thompson guarding him a good portion of the night last night. And
defender.
And I thought that was really interesting. You know, like Luke is someone that that is taken seriously now by some of these teams, especially I guess when he starts, they're like, this guy's a flamethrower from beyond the arc. We gotta get this. We gotta make sure we get this going.
And I don't want to give too much time on Houston because they're the enemy, but Amen Thompson is a dude, man. That guy is going to be a great teammate. Like him and his twin brother, when they came in the league, there was all that like, oh, are they really that good? Because they didn't play all that great. Like, can they shoot? Amen Thompson is the truth, man. He's going to be a great pro.
Yeah, we'll talk about him. His midi is beautiful, and that man, I don't want to tell you, one of my favorite plays, and it was against us. The block on Luke from behind was just so. I hated it.
So clean, yeah. And he's got his second step. Like he'll take a step in a direction, and by his second step, he's full speed, and he is so athletic. That kid can play, man. That kid can play.
He's a hooper. And bringing it back, Thompson plays like we wish Gigi would. Gigi had a bad game last night. Gigi, he did. He wasn't getting. He got a bad whistle. There were a couple calls, but he was also complaining after every time he drove to the basket. We'll see.
This team follows its superstars. All I'm going to say. I still think. We knew this was coming, right? You and I have talked about this on the show. Like, there's going to be nights where Gigi is not good because he's still essentially a rookie and still figuring it out. And last night was one of them. Like, we have the same conversation. Wayno, you say we need to wait on Edie. Like, we need to wait on Gigi as well. Like, it's coming, but he's going to have some bumps along the way.
Yeah, 100%. And bringing this back around, the one person that we are not going to have to worry about, just Jaren, man. Like, I am so just. I respect him more and more as a human and as a leader and as a franchise basketball player more and more with each passing day because the man handles himself like an absolute like the class act of the NBA. And man, him being named as an all-star reserve yesterday was just the most validating thing. I can't imagine how he felt, like after the season he had last year and where he was everybody was going for him because he was the only option on this team to be named an all-star and not like the first time he was an all-star where he was this isn't only all the best players on this team acted like Jaren Jackson Jr. does. We would be in credible position because everybody on the broadcast last night, everybody was singing Jaren's praises, everybody. And the first all-star nod, not that it felt he was the last one selected in that draft, for example. He was still young. He was still budding. It was almost, I don't know if everybody took him seriously that game. This one felt like borderline starter Jaren Jackson Jr. for the All-Star game. And
when his name was called on the TNT broadcast, I don't know if you saw it, but they said well-deserved Memphis Grizzlies Jaren Jackson Jr. because he has carried this team. Again, if you go back a few weeks ago, there was an episode of the 2 Buck Sports Show where Drew and I talked about who's the best player on this team. And in a vacuum, it's Ja Morant. He's our superstar, super athletic. I concede that 100%. But it's Jaren, man. That guy is just an absolute hooper on both ends of the court. We used to call 12 all the time. Now it's 13. We dial 13 or 13 out or whatever catchphrase you want to come up with because Jaren is a closer. Art, like he continues to be that guy in the fourth quarter when it matters. Like even like he's outside of like Sacramento in a couple of games, like he has stepped up even when the rest of the team didn't. He carries his team defensively. We go as he goes on offense. Like the offense goes through 13 now. And there are just very, very few 7-footers with a bag like Jaren has. It's shades of Dirk. It's shades of, insert whatever other, like Dirk, and that's really about it. Like they can take you off the dribble at the elbow, that can post you up and get that floater. Like it doesn't matter who they throw at him. Jaren is a bucket now, and this is well deserved. My favorite basketball player on the planet, and it's nice to see him get the credit he deserves.
And like Houston ran their final play last night. Van Fleet was it was him. Jaren took that assignment out and just clean deep, and it was like that shot stood no chance because you were going against former defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
He might have been I don't know if it was the most deserving out of all of the but it was the one where I was like, hey, there you go.
Yeah. You got that one right. Like I would have put in Sabonis over Şengün, and there was a few other arguments that I can make, like LaMelo on the East. Could have made an argument for him, but like Jaren is the one, like, and even if you like look through it, like nobody's really arguing that Jaren should be there. Like everybody's like, yeah, I mean, that one makes sense. But he's on the list with Wemby and Ant and AD, and like it's very validating for Jaren and what he is, the maturity he's come, because like Luke, 3-4 years ago, there were people that were out on him, like they're out on other superstars on the team right now because of foul trouble and injury issues and stuff. And just, again, like Brevin talked about yesterday on the 2 Buck Sports Show. If you hadn't checked it out, like Luke said, Brevin is a phenomenal pro. Awesome guy to chat with. It was a great, great conversation. But his, like, maturity last season is one of the, like, we needed last season, and it sucked. I hated it. You and I were writing, like, post-game recaps after getting blown out on a Wednesday night by the Trailblazers. Like, it was ugly, right?
Yeah, it was.
But the silver lining was that Jaren became the monster that he is right now because of last season.
Yep, 100%. And then let's go through the rest of the all-star reserves really quick. You got Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, James Harden, Alperen Şengün. I know I butchered that. Wembanyama and Jalen Williams. Like, that's the cream of the crop other than the first timers. And then on the East, you got Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Dame Lillard, Evan Mobley, Pascal Siakam. Same deal. Like these are some. This is a good all-star class. I'm with you. I would have put Sabonis in there over Şengün. The dude's leading the league in rebounds. Has like 42 of 44 double-doubles. It's something that's ridiculous.
He's a walking double-double. How that guy's not an all-star like is wild to me. Tyler Hero was another interesting one. Like
I would have done Melo or Trey.
Yeah, I wonder how pissed Jimmy Butler is at that. A, B, I would have put in Melo over Tyler Hero. But, again, you're right. It's a great all-star cast. You got Lego Man, Evan Mobley on the East, Cade Cunningham getting props as a young guard. Like, it's if they gave two you-know-whats about it, it'd be a good all-star game.
Which got, man, it sounds like, I guess next Thursday is when they're going to be picking the teams. And it sounds like at least Kenny and Shaq and Charles, it seems like they're excited. Yeah. I mean, that was, I mean, maybe we know this isn't going to be taken seriously. We know they're having to get Mac McClung from not playing to playing just so we can, we know what the All-Star weekend is, but if the people if Jaren seems to take it seriously, and we're talking about if the team acted more like Jaren, if everybody acted more like Jaren in the NBA, I think the world would be a better place. He's just like Kyla, my partner, she sent me a video. Even casuals are starting to sense the video. Like she was like, "Did you know Jaren gets a pass from the same girl before every single home game?" And I was like, "Yeah. He's like the most wholesome person in the world."
He is, man.
I just shout out.
Shades of Zebo from back in the day with especially these kids that he would interact with. Jaren's such a humanitarian. I mean, he gave a speech on MLK Day before the game. He was out on like presidential campaigns. He's been, at award shows. Like Jaren is just an all around good human and a phenomenal representative of our franchise. And we better back up the armored truck and pay him every penny of that $70 million he is owed.
Yep. Well, you want to talk about people on the wrong side of history, the people that were talking about how we didn't need to keep Jaren when we gave him that measly 4-year deal that was decreasing in value.
Such a team-friendly deal. Like he was such a champ because of that. Like because he did us a solid by taking that descending deal. Like we better take care of him. Like I mean, Tripp is just. I mean, he is quietly putting together. Art's talking about if he takes another jump, he could be in the conversation for MVP in the next couple of years. Like the sky's the limit. I mean, I know my glasses are Beale Street blue tinted. Like I get that, but like there's there's a real chance if he continues on the trajectory that he's in, he would at least be in Hall of Fame conversations.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Some guys that probably will not be in the Hall of Fame, but we need to mention them anyway. There were 4 Memphis Hustle players. Well, Yuki Kawamura might make it. There were 4 Memphis Hustle players that were elected to the NBA G League Up Next game. Think of a better name. That's way too long. The 4 Memphis Hustle players that are going are Armando Bacot, Yuki Kawamura, Mal Pereira. I can't say your name, Mal. I'm sorry. And DJ Stewart. We won't talk too long about this because it does seem we know how Japan likes to vote for their all-stars. They got Andrew Wiggins in the all-star game. The fact that there's 4 Memphis Hustle players, I love it. Good for those guys. You can also see how much Yuki Kawamura, man, the guys love Yuki on this team. Like just having him on the bench, I really, really, really cool.
Yeah, and Bacot is a bucket, man. Like he's he's not an NBA kind of guy. But that guy is an absolute bucket, and it is good to see our young – again, like there is not a better developmental franchise in the NBA from – I know, it's just so emotional. But we got 4 hustle players. You got guys – like our developmental franchise and our scouting department is second to none with these guys that we can find, and we're great at developing players. Again, I'm giving him a pass because it was a good win and we figured it out. But like, we've got to find a way to get from development stage to championship stage. But we're one of the best at finding young talent.
Yep. And I want to shout out Superfan Vivian on X. That's the little girl's account who does the pass with Jaren every game. It's awesome.
And D'Angelo, like I don't hate that trade idea at all. Okongwu and DeAndre Hunter from Atlanta, like I can get behind that.
Well, and if you watch that Atlanta game before, man, Atlanta's got some guys that can play. They got some guys, hoopers, man. Yeah, they got some hoopers. Regardless of, Yuki is a great G League point guard. I don't want. We're joking, like well deserved from Yuki, and I really like. I like this. Like this has become it's. He was good. He played for us last year, got some real minutes. You know, you just like to see these guys succeed.
Yeah.
Another thing that we might be seeing succeed soon, and I'm so excited about this. Nashville makes bid for WNBA team. They're going to be called the Tennessee Summits in honor of the late Pat Summitt. I love that idea. Man, I haven't loved an idea more in a long time. Like growing up in East Tennessee, Pat Summitt is on a very, very, very short list of like, number like Mount Rushmore of Tennesseans. Like she's up there with Dolly Parton, and if you know, you know, right? Like you know. I grew up in Northeast Mississippi. My mom played basketball in high school, and she loved basketball. My brother's basketball coach. I'm obviously a hoops head. I love to talk basketball. Get that from my mama. And growing up, we watched. Grew up an Alabama fan. Don't hate me. I got smart. Went to Mississippi State, but. My mom loved Pat Summitt, and so we used to watch Lady Ball games all the time. I love the logo. I love the sound of it. Tennessee Summitt. Like, come on, WNBA, do the right thing. Give them a team because that is a 10 out of 10 name, and the color palette, like it's awesome. The colors are great. It looks like they're going to kind of do a lot of partnership with the Preds, which that's one of the best things to do in Nashville. You got Candace Parker, you got Peyton Manning, you got like the ownership
makes
group.
Sense, man.
Makes sense. It's like everybody that's the smart Tennesseans from East Tennessee. There ain't a lot of us, but they're getting together and they're doing the right thing here. And I'm very, very excited about it. I love watching the WNBA. I'll buy season tickets. I will go. Like I'm just all for it. All for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for it to come to Memphis just because I'm biased and I live here. It'd be great. But I mean, Tennessee Summitt, Nashville, it makes sense. It does.
I like it. It would just be great. Like you living in Memphis, I long for the ability just to be like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Gonna go catch a game, even if it's just like a crap game. Which we're not taking a break today. We're just gonna go right into the weekend. I would love, like, if the WNBA were here, I would go to the WNBA game this weekend. Good or bad.
It is nice to. Maggie got a random Thursday off earlier this month, and she was like, hey, are the Grizzlies at home? I was like, yeah, we're playing the Rockets. And she's like, let's go. And so it's just like, it is nice having that ability to go catch a ball game like that. Like here, it's like I could go to a Preds game, but problem with hockey is it's always freezing in there. Professional hockey is second to none. So good. So good. So that's not what I'm going to be doing this weekend. But this weekend, for the weekend outlook, I'm doing something that I should have done for a long time. It's really lame.
I'm changing the brakes on my car. Yeah, no, like it's not very exciting, but once I realized like just the easy stuff like oil changes and brake changes that you can learn to do on your car that they charge like hundreds of dollars.
Stupid amount of money, yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? Once I learned that, I just kind of watched a bunch of YouTube videos to learn how to do this myself. So that's what I'm doing. If I'm not here on Monday, I probably died and got squished. The Grizzlies are playing on Sunday, so I will be watching that. But yeah, brake changing and game watching. That's what I'm doing.
I've been there, man. I'm getting close. My truck is getting close. I know that's coming. It's around the corner that I need to just break down and just do it myself. And we'll get there. But this weekend is not that weekend. So I don't, Luke, I'm old. I'm an old man, and I stayed out way past my bedtime on Wednesday night. I went down to Starkville and watched my alma mater, Mississippi State, heartbreaker to Alabama. It was a great basketball game, and just like the atmosphere between college and pro is just night and day. Like Grizzlies have a great atmosphere, but there's nothing like a college rivalry game.
No.
And so this weekend is recovery weekend. Maggie and I, we have 3 plans. We've got gym, IKEA, and Trader Joe's. That's it.
IKEA.
I know, dude. I low key love that spot.
Dude.
And so that's really it, man. We're gonna read. We finished a puzzle. And so we're getting ready to start another puzzle. We had a hard puzzle of like a ship with a night scene, and now we're doing like this cozy one or whatever. But I'm excited about getting like some downtime with some puzzle and just like a nothing weekend.
Dude, it might be a puzzle weekend around here too. I got a Wrigley Field puzzle that I've been sitting on for a long time because a lot of it is just the stands and it's colors that I struggle to see. And I'm like, we'll do that later.
Dude, we had a night sky that was black and the water was black at the bottom of the puzzle, and like everything in the middle was done for like weeks, and then we had to fill in the sky and the water. It was bad. It was literally just like plug and play. And I see you in there, Kendarius. You can quit with all that roll tide mess. Get out of here.
Oh, I missed it. But hey, you know, I did it when UT won. You know, we catch. If you're in the SEC, you catch strays.
This needs to happen. We need to do it. Like Maggie and I's 1 year is coming up. Y'all can't believe she's put up for an entire calendar year. And on our 1 year, we're doing an escape room. That's what we love. So you're speaking our love language, an escape room and/or Grizz game. DG, I'm in. Luke, y'all need to get it. Luke, Drew, Wayno, everybody get to Memphis. Let's make it happen.
I'm looking at the OKC game and the game where they retire Smart's jersey. Those are the 2 that I'm looking at. So I got tickets. We've got tickets to the Heat. I know Uncle Buck's coming to the Thunder game, but if you're coming to the Thunder game, I could easily be talked into the Thunder game. Let me know. We will confirm, and we will let everyone know, aka just our group now, about that weekend. We won't be broadcasting that. Yeah. That's gonna do it for our show today, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out without a commercial. I had my second coffee. I didn't even finish it. Breaks are for quitters. Have a good weekend. Stay cozy. It's rainy here. It's kind of just take care of yourself. Look out for each other. If we can leave you with anything.
Hang on. And happy birthday to Wayno's son. Turned 13. Big 1-3.
Wayno, we got a 13-year-old in the house. Let me tell you, sucks. If you can hear me, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know if you can hear me. They're cranky and they stink. Shout out 13-year-olds if you're watching, I guess. That's going to do it for our show today. Have a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday. If I can leave you with anything today, remember just these 2 things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit. And remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a good one.